Imagine waking up to this. Britain is changing the way people enter, work, and live in the country. And this time, it's not a small tweak. It's a major shift in immigration policy that could redefine the future of who gets to call the United Kingdom home. Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood has just announced sweeping new reforms that will raise the language bar, tighten visa rules, and reshape the nation's approach to migration. Some are calling it bold, others dangerous. Either way, it's one of the biggest immigration overhauls in years. Under the new policy, anyone wanting to work in Britain will now need to speak and understand English at an A-level standard. That's far higher than the GCSE level previously required. The Home Office says it's about ensuring integration, that migrants can truly participate in British life, culture, and the workplace. But critics see something else, a political move aimed at cutting numbers rather than building communities. Source: The Telegraph. To put it simply, migrants will have to pass a tougher, written and spoken English exam before getting a visa. They'll be tested on grammar, comprehension, reading, and listening, with example questions like, "The man sitting next to me on the plane was very nervous because," choosing between options such as, "he didn't fly," "he hadn't flown before," or "he wasn't flying." According to the Home Office, this ensures newcomers can live and work independently, communicate confidently, and contribute meaningfully. But opponents argue it risks excluding talented workers who might be fluent in skill, but not yet fluent in English. The move comes as the UK tries to reduce net migration, now standing at around 431,000, down from a record high of 906,000 in mid-2023. It's part of a larger push to bring more than 9 million economically inactive Britons back into work. The question is, will it work? And that brings us to the heart of this debate. Is Britain opening doors to fairness or closing them to ambition? Should language determine who gets a chance at a better life here? I want to hear your thoughts. Comment below and tell us if you think this new rule makes sense or if it goes too far. Make sure to follow England, Now 7 for updates, analysis, and your voice in the national conversation. Now there's another side to this story. These changes don't stop at language. They reach deep into Britain's labor market. From January, only graduate-level jobs or higher will qualify for work visas. That instantly removes about 180 occupations from eligibility, roles like retail staff, chefs, and childminders. The care home sector is the only major exception. Employers will also face higher costs, with a 32% increase in the immigration skills charge starting this December. Source: The Telegraph. What does that mean for everyday businesses? For small cafe owners, restaurant chains, and hospitality managers already struggling with staff shortages, it could mean hiring freezes or even closures. For many, the cost of bringing in overseas workers will simply be too high. And yet the government argues that this will open more jobs for British citizens. But here's the reality check. Britain has millions of unfilled positions, not because there aren't people, but because there aren't people with the right skills. So will tightening immigration really fix that, or just leave gaps? As Mahmood said herself, this country has always welcomed those who come here to contribute. But it is unacceptable for migrants to arrive without learning our language, unable to take part in our national life. The message is clear: integration first, opportunity second. Yet the critics say, integration takes time, not punishment. They warn this policy could turn away the very people Britain needs to rebuild after years of economic uncertainty. Moving on to education, foreign students will also face tougher conditions. From January 2027, graduates will be allowed to stay in the UK for just 18 months after completing their studies, instead of 2 years. Officials say the current 2-year rule is being abused by some students who use it to take low-paid work instead of pursuing professional careers. But others argue the government is punishing all for the actions of a few. Source: The Telegraph. In a surprising twist, Britain will actually expand opportunities for high-potential graduates from top global universities. The number of eligible institutions will double to 100, allowing up to 8,000 of the world's brightest students to come to the UK each year. There's even talk of added support for entrepreneurial graduates looking to start businesses and innovate in Britain. So while one door narrows, another one opens, but only for the best. Students will also be required to show they have more financial support before entering the UK. The minimum monthly amount will rise from £1,171 to £1,502, roughly equal to the maintenance loans British students receive. The idea is to ensure foreign students can afford to live and study without strain, but it could also make studying in the UK unaffordable for many. Now let's turn to another part of this tightening immigration net, tourism and asylum. Britain will now require tourists from Botswana to obtain visas before entering the country. The change comes after more than 1,000 Botswanan nationals reportedly used visa-free travel to claim asylum. Since 2022, 1,332 asylum claims have been filed, with fewer than 10% approved. The Home Office says this measure will restore order to our borders and prevent the system from being abused. Source: The Telegraph. Those who already booked flights before October 14th will have a 6-week transition period without a visa. But moving forward, Botswana joins the list of countries, including Jordan, Colombia, and Trinidad and Tobago, that lost visa-free access after similar abuses. Within 3 months of those restrictions, asylum claims dropped by over 90%. The government insists these policies are not about shutting doors, but about strengthening systems, targeting traffickers, ending exploitation, and ensuring migration works in Britain's interest. Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper said the UK is working globally to disrupt smuggling networks, negotiate return agreements, and close loopholes that allow illegal entry. But the bigger question remains, what kind of Britain are we building? One that demands perfection before participation, or one that invests in helping newcomers succeed? Think about it. Is a higher English requirement a fair expectation, or a quiet form of exclusion? Are we protecting opportunity for British workers, or isolating Britain from the global talent it desperately needs? Let's be honest. Migration has always been at the heart of Britain's story. From the post-war rebuilders who shaped our cities, to the doctors, scientists, and entrepreneurs driving today's innovation, migrants have played a vital role. So when we raise the bar, we also raise the stakes. Do you believe these new measures strike the right balance between control and compassion? Or is the UK risking its global reputation as a welcoming nation? Tell us what you think in the comments below. Your opinion matters, and we'll feature some of your responses in our next segment. Don't forget to follow England Now 7 for deeper analysis, honest discussion, and the latest updates from Britain's perspective. This is England Now 7, bringing you the stories shaping the nation, the policies defining its future, and the voices that keep the conversation real.